power has been depleted, and almost every organization are declaring losses because of the same purchasing power. You know, blue chip companies and big organizations are leaving the country for the same reason. Now, back to your other question about how can maybe we should really sit down and look at how we can coexist. That's what you're saying, have a honest conversation. We're actually having a very honest conversation about it. And the bridge that we can use to even coexist is labeling. And this is where we call on the FCCPC. Nigerians must have an option to choose what they want to eat or not. If GMOs are properly labeled in this country at consumption level, such that you know that what you're eating, maybe this is what we need to revolutionize our food industry, so that every single consumable is labeled and Nigerians know that I'm eating a GMO or I'm not eating it, because right now GMOs are not labeled and we have very strong and stringent labeling.
How much of it do we have in the market?
We have maize, we have cotton, and we have beans. You don't know whether the last beans you ate is GMO or not. You're not aware. The last pap or moimo you ate or pap, you are not aware. And this is giving Nigerians the option of not know what they're eating. And this is the biggest problem, not labeling. I mean, if you want to eat, go to foreign countries, you see the GMO tomatoes, they are big, huge. Four pounds for a basket or something, for maybe just a few. But you see the organic ones, 19. Cheap and more expensive, smaller. They don't look as nice as the GMOs. But, I mean, so labeled, properly labeled. But we don't have the luxury of labeling here in Nigeria. So what are we saying? This is the big part of the conversation. We can't coexist with this. If I don't have the option to choose what I want to eat, if Nigerians don't have the option of choosing, if you're just telling us that we should listen to MBMA saying that it's safe, that's not enough. Prove to us that it's safe. Give me the option of choice. There's enough pushback around the world for us to know that if people want to eat it and do it, like somebody said at the public hearing, somebody said that it's better we eat it and die. Someone actually said that at the public hearing, let's eat it and die than not have food at all to eat. So if people want to eat it and die, label it for them to eat and die. Don't open it up on the open market for every Nigerian to eat. So that means if there are strong labeling laws, and then the companies that are pushing it, who are not following the labeling laws, which we have in Nigeria, which the FCCPC should start looking into, and also NAFDAC, I don't know if you're aware, NAFDAC has said that GMOs, they've never certified any GMO in Nigeria safe for consumption, and they consider it pesticide. So if a regulatory organization as NAFDAC, with good track record in Nigeria for food safety, is being eliminated from the conversation and being twisted to support the narrative, I think that we need to broaden this conversation. And that's why I don't know if you followed the public hearing that happened on the 19th of November, a very passionate public hearing where both sides came out. And of course, we saw it. It was there plain for all to see that this conversation needs to be taken very seriously, especially when our health is on the line. There are a lot of non-communicable diseases on the line. Our biodiversity is on the line. Our food sovereignty is on the line, because when GMOs start depleting our natural heirloom, and then you begin to find out that some of the heirlooms that have existed, that God gave you naturally for thousands of years, you can't find them anymore. Then you're looking at food monopoly by capitalists, and then they can decide who gets food and who doesn't get food. They can decide to jack up the prices, and there's nothing they're going to do.
Is that a realistic concern of yours? Because if they're in the market to make money, they have more reason to sell to you than not to. Isn't it?
If they're in the market, that's what you mean, the GMO companies?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but of course, if they're in the market, see, we should understand that food can be weaponized. And that's why in countries like Russia, you're deemed a terrorist if you cultivate GMO. Because GMO can actually lead to food terrorism. There's a report by the United States where they said that China, they are concerned that China can actually use GMOs as a bioweapon against them. There's a report on that. We all can look up that report, the 2022 report, where you actually can weaponize GMO against the country. Now, you're looking at very valid concerns here. And it's not just about for profit. This is more than that. Since the World War II ended, the art of warfare changed. It's left from being guns, bullets, and we are talking about policies now that affect countries, talking about food. Many of these things can be weaponized. I mean, if Nigeria were look at what's happening in the world, there are escalations of war all around. People are getting into war mode, all around. So if we're actually going to say we are preparing for such things and all, and then we have a major food crisis, why don't we rather solve our problems like country like Tanzania did? And speaking about that, how did Nigeria's population grow from what it was at 1960, which was about maybe 69 or 70 million, to what it is today, when there was no GMOs? Through organic food, organic seed that has been that God gave to this world from time immemorial. Organic seed. Now we get to a point, and we're now saying that those regenerative seeds are not going to sustain our population. That is the seeds that terminate, that after the first planting season, you can't plant them anymore. You have to go to the seed merchants. What if these merchants say they are not available?
Yeah, are you saying, doctor, that you don't see a scenario where GMOs can coexist with regenerative? I would say, do you not see a future where GMOs can coexist with regenerative seeds, organic seeds that we already have? You don't see a future where these two can be sustainably applied within the agricultural value chain?
It's not that
it has to be one or the other.
It's not that I don't see. One eliminates the other, and the organics are not attacking the GMOs, but the GMOs are wiping out the organics. The reports are there. Go to Mexico, check out their reports. Go to Tanzania, go to Malawi also, who said that they will not do GMOs because it will lead to biodiversity loss and the loss of their 800 species of maize, natural seeds. So the GMOs are leading to the depletion of the other one. So it's not me about my site or my perspective now. It is a reality on ground seen by other countries around the world.
Some say GMOs are the future. Whether we like it or not, right now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it is going to be a reality. So it's better we find a way to adapt to it. What do you say as a counter-argument to that idea?
Well, that's very easy. Look at 50 years back. The world wasn't depending on GMOs. 1,000 years back. 2,000 years back.
The internet, Dr. Sheldon.
But
now we are dependent on the internet.
That's true. We don't eat technology.
Right. Yeah.
We don't eat technology. I mean, we can talk about technology.
Our life mostly depends on it now.
Just a second. We can talk about technology for every other thing, maybe, but when it comes to food, what you put into your body, this body has existed for thousands of years. No biological improvement, none at all, no upgrade. It's just what it is. And knowing that there is nothing man makes that is perfect, everything man makes requires upgrades. Never perfect. We've seen, I have mentioned to you already how Monsanto's seeds in the first place were doing so poorly, they had to upgrade the seeds, and then it keeps happening. You're looking at what's going on with even some other organic technologies that man is making, such as, the vaccines. We all see what's going on with it and all that, how it's a global conversation at the moment. It's not what I should be saying here. Everyone can see it. Man doesn't make what is perfect. So you cannot promise me a future that something that has existed is going to be. You can't promise me that future. No, you can't do that. Who are actually the purveyors of this science? Check them out. Who are actually the people making these postulations? Who are the people making it? Are they planning to upgrade the human body? Are they planning to make it compatible with the GMOs in the future? You're looking at the rise of, check out, there are correlation maps. Even though some people say correlations don't mean causation, but there are viable data to see that the rise of cancer in countries like Zimbabwe, go and look at their records. The rise of cancer, the rise of many non-communicable diseases, they came with the rise of GMOs and vaccines globally.
Well, as we did say, correlation does not equal causation.
But there are facts to look at.
Yeah, maybe there are some intersections there. But finally, as we wrap things up in less than a minute, what would you want Nigerians to advocate, especially when it comes to awareness? Because there are a lot of people who don't know what we're talking about, who know very little about GMOs, who don't know how to situate this conversation. As you did say, the leveling part of it is a very big question, where people are consuming something they don't know could, harm their well-being. What would you want Nigerians to take away from this conversation, and how can they be a part of the conversation moving forward?
First, I'll start with the last one. Become more aware. Research. Do your own studies. Be open-minded. and look at what's happening around the world. Don't just take things. The world today is not the world of 20 years ago, 50 years ago. It's not the same, So you have to research, you have to know what you're consuming. I will say the same thing as my last tweet on social media, and also has we recently saw a video where some people were producing I'll call them chemicals in the name of drinks by the roadside. I mean, these are people without conscience. And then a lot of Nigerians will go to the clubs, the pubs, the lounges and start drinking what they are not aware. And then it will lead to kidney issues, liver issues, and then put their families in peril and all. It's the same thing with the GMOs. And also whatever it is you're going to put into your mouth. It's the same thing I'll talk about processed foods. It's the same thing I'll talk about it. Look at Europe, where GMOs are banned. And many of the raw materials, we can't even export to Europe when there's a lot of pesticide, the level of toxicity in our foods. Europe has stringent food laws. You don't have a lot of obesity in Europe. But go to America, where these things are just open. Obesity is everywhere. The food isn't digesting in the stomach because the stomach isn't recognizing what is in there. And then you have food decomposing in the body, and then it's leading to colon cancer. So if you're going to stay healthy, just like I would advocate against a lot of highly processed foods, I'd advocate against many of these things. There's the same way. Be conscious of what you eat. Be careful about what you eat. Grow your own food. And that's why I really love what Her Excellency, the First Lady, started with the Every Home and Garden project, where everyone trying to bring back the planting. Everyone should plant something in their garden. Have your local vegetables, Be conscious of what you're eating. Be careful about what you're eating. And this is my take home to Nigerians. Study, research more. If you're going to be healthy, if you're going to eat well and live well, you have to be careful about what you eat.
Okay. We're going to have to leave it here for now. It's a developing issue and one that I think is keenly being followed by the media and a lot of Nigerians who have invested a lot of their time and resources to understand what is happening in this particular sector. As you did say, there's a lot of pushback regarding GMOs and its attendant effect on societies beyond just what's happening here in Nigeria but across the world. Dr. Segun Adebayo, as always, thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. We do appreciate you for your expert analysis.
Thank you
so much for stopping by. That's our